The downtown scene in Minneapolis, Minnesota. There's a chill in the air. Winter has returned to the Midwest. So has winter sports. And inside the Target Center, we're getting set for the best in the world to go head-to-head on the ice. We welcome you to the 1998 World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard. And hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Terry Gannon. Thrilled to have you with us as we kick off our coverage of the World Championships with the men's short program. We'll have over 13 hours of coverage this week from Minneapolis, including tomorrow night at ABC Sports at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Men's champions being crowned. Todd Eldredge, will it be him? We'll have to wait and see. Saturday night, Michelle Kwan will go after another world title, again, beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC Sports with the ladies free skate. Well, whenever you have a world championship in an Olympic year, it becomes one of attrition. Unfortunately, this one more than ever before because of illness, injury, accidents, and the beginning of professional careers. All four Olympic champions are not here competing in Minneapolis, nor are the three men who stood on the podium in Nagano. Ilya Kulik of Russia, the Olympic champion, out with a back injury. Elvis Stojko of Canada, the Olympic silver medalist, out with an injured groin. Philippe Candeloro of France, the bronze medalist, out because, well, he had nothing left to prove. However, all those reasons aside, Todd Eldredge, the five-time U.S. champion, is here, trying to become the first U.S. man to get his title back. He won the Worlds in 1996, since one Brian Boitano did it 10 years ago. And, Brian, you've been on both sides of the coin. In '88, you were at the Olympics, you won. You skated at the World Championships. In '94, you did not. How difficult is it for Todd Eldredge to get it back up and get motivated?
Well, you know, Terry, I don't think that he can rely on his emotions to get him motivated so closely after the Olympics. It's really when you have to go into autopilot and rely on your training. This World Championships is a chance for Todd, who's usually a very consistent performer, to redeem himself from a disappointing performance in Nagano. Even though it's hard to get motivated after the pressure and expectation of the Olympics, Todd is the type to make the most of this situation. And the fact that he's so experienced, not one of the young guns, but a seasoned veteran, will certainly help him.
Well, Todd Eldredge, not only one we'll keep an eye on, but the other American, too, Michael Weiss, who is the U.S. silver medalist, certainly with a chance to medal here in Minneapolis. There's a five-time world champion on the other side of me. And there is no truth to the rumor that Brian Boitano and Dick Button will lace up the skates, go out and perform without all the Olympic champions.
I maybe just be ready.
All right, we'll hold on that then, Dick. Without Ilya Kulik of Russia, the focus, though, clearly on the two young Russians who have created quite a stir.
Well, Alexei Yagudin and Evgeny Plushenko. They are the two young guys. They're both from Russia. They're both from St. Petersburg. They both study with Alexei Mishin, the legendary teacher. They're both aggressive, hardworking, and very talented. But most important of all, they're both very young. I mean, Yagudin is 18, Plushenko an incredible 15. If they see somebody else do something difficult, they say, I can do that. And you know what? They do just that. One final thing, this is their battlefield. This is the technical elements competition, and this is where they excel. They could care less whether Kulik, Stojko, and Candeloro are out. They are here to show the world that they're the best, and you know what? I'll bet they do.
Two young Russians, certainly ones to keep your eyes on for the future. 2002 Olympics, perhaps. Well, even without the Olympic champions, this is the World Championships and the most prestigious skating event in the world other than the Olympic Games. And some of the names that we will keep an eye on and we will watch. Stephen Cousins, the 9-time British national champion. The two young Russians that Dick just talked about, Plushenko and Yagudin. Those two certainly tonight could play a large role. And then throughout the week, Todd Eldredge as well. We'll watch him. And Michael Weiss. Won't see the quad jump in the short program, though, from Weiss or from Eldredge or anyone else. The 8 required elements that you must perform in order not to have points deducted. 2 minutes and 40 seconds in length, and it's worth 1/3 of the overall score. And getting ready on the ice, there is the 9-time Great British national champion Stephen Cousins. Finished 6th in the Olympic Games, and initially he was very disappointed until he had a visit with Scott Hamilton. We asked him about that.
First of all, he slapped me across the face, and that woke me up very quickly, and that was pretty poignant. And then after that, he said, you know, Olympic Games, you're 6th, the Olympic Games. And after a while, it clicked in. You know, you got a guy who's been through what he's been through, Olympic champion, and for him to come up and say, you know, you were 6th at the Olympic Games, that's awesome. That really, that hit home.
Representing Great Britain, please welcome Stephen Cousins.
Well, there's no question there should be a lot of pride because of the finish in Nagano. A 6th place finish. He was 9th in 94, 12th in 92. So he's been to 3 Olympic Games. He finished 11th at the Worlds a year ago. Here is Stephen Cousins of Great Britain.
The music, Cool Jazz by Clarence Brown.
If Stephen ever has any trouble, it's usually with the combination, the triple axel double toe combination that's coming up here. So he needs to get this out of the way.
Triple axel, triple toe loop. Right here, watch the takeoff. Triple axel, double toe loop. And in the takeoff, he did not pass through his free leg, did not lift the jump up. And that's the problem with that jump. He doesn't look as though he's with it so far with these little mistakes here.
Well, I think he's actually going to be happy that he hit that triple axel double toe, because I've seen him make mistakes and miss the entire element before.
That's better than something worse.
Exactly.
And that's what this short program is all about, not making mistakes. Much more so than the long program, where the presentation or artistry carries more weight.
Well, actually, in this program, in these programs, everybody does triple axels and combinations. So that really, since all the top skaters do the same thing, the major point will be the importance of artistry in this program. I mean, that's where it becomes even, it's not supposed to, but it does become important. Because remember, it's 50% of the total score.
Now you can see him really loosening up because his 2 most difficult elements are over. That was a beautiful triple Lutz out of footwork sequence. You know, he's doing such a great job. It's very difficult to come out and skate first, especially when you're favored to be in the top 10. To get great marks skating first is a difficult thing.
It may be difficult, but you always told me you liked it.
I like skating first. It's the difference between being difficult and liking it.
Well, the short program underway, as well as the banter between Boitano and Button. We'll have much more of that and a lot more skating going on here in Minneapolis. Come back with Stephen Cousins, the marks from the judges, in a moment. Back in Minneapolis, Stephen Cousins following his short program. Obviously happy about it so far.
Now look at this entrance to his Lutz. Watch the way he skates on the back outside. It reaches back. He doesn't reach very far, but he does get wonderful height and excellent turn.
And here you see him pole vault off the right toe. He gets great height and checks out nice and early for that jump. Here's the triple axel. Notice at the end of the jump, he gets a little bit back and he's trying to save it, and he has to throw that into a double instead of a triple.
5-2.
Stephen Cousins, the first set of marks for required elements. They range from 5.0 up to 5.3.
And his marks for presentation.
Now the second set of marks for presentation. Remember, this is 1/3 of the overall score. These marks combined, 5.4 and 5.5s.
5-4.
So the opening skater, Stephen Cousins, sets the mark. Everyone will go after that.
You see, he thought that was...
Representing Germany, let's have a warm welcome now for Andrzej Vlaschenko.
Next up, 23-year-old Andrzej Vlaschenko representing Germany. You may know his story. He was born in Germany, skated for Latvia, national champion of Germany as well. Did not go to the Olympics, though, because he did not get German citizenship in time, in part due to a drunk driving incident.
music. Blues for Clock by Eddie Lewis. Now his two-jump combination, which can be triple or double-double, is a triple toe axel, triple toe loop.
A little two-footed on that second landing of the triple toe loop.
But he'll get more credit for that, I think, than Stephen Cousins got.
For the double toe loop.
That's right. This is triple Lutz.
Holding on to those landings.
Remember, there are 8 elements in these programs. This was a flying spin. Beautiful back position.
One of the best flying back spins I've seen in a long time.
This is the next element, a circular step. Element number 5, a double axel. Always dangerous because it's a forward edge takeoff. That jump was adequate. Spin combination with good center. Spin, not a great position. Certainly doesn't compare to the earlier ones we saw. He has a nice dance quality to his skating.
I like his skating a lot.
He moves well. The steps are intricate and difficult. Very dancey quality to his skating.
So Stephen Cousins set the standard. Andrei Blashenko of Germany with his effort here in the men's short program in Minneapolis. We'll come back with his marks right after this.
The judges' marks.
He was on the rise back in '96 and '97, finished 6th at the Worlds. Andrei Blashenko, a little bit of trouble in the last year and a half, though.
Here's his triple axel, triple toe. The key with the triple axel is to land it with enough speed on the landing so you can get a triple toe off. And he does a great job in between, but lands on 2 feet for that triple toe because he didn't quite make the rotation.
Marks for required elements, 5.0 to 5.5, a little bit higher than Stephen Cousins.
Look at the finish mark of 5.0.
Well, it's interesting because that 2/10 deduction that they took for the triple toe, they obviously thought that was better.
Puts him in first ahead of Cousins at this point. And here's a look at one of the up-and-comers, to use a cliche, in figure skating, a guy to watch in the future. Ivan Denev of Bulgaria, not exactly known for their skating powerhouses, but he was 11th at the Olympics this year. 19 years of age, from Sofia, Bulgaria.
With the music, Sunset Boulevard by you-know-who.
He's ready for his close-up.
I think the one thing you'll see about this young man is that he's a very honest skater, a straightforward skater. There's not much that's extraneous about his movements. Now look at how neat and clean and very conservative and tidy that combination was.
What I really like about his skating is he moves across the ice like a cat. For his size, his power in each stroke of crossing over covers so much ice. And it's smooth. You don't see a lot of upper body movement. He's smooth.
of the things he is lacking is speed. He doesn't move across the ice with a great deal of flash.
Well, I think he's going to be a little bit disappointed in that. He turned the second jump of the combination into a double instead of a triple and put his hand down on the triple flip out of the footwork.
You can see the air taken out of him on the ice right now. Ivan Denev, 19 years of age. We'll wait for the marks when we come back. Coming up next, the four-time national champion of Ukraine and the 96 European champion Vyacheslav Zagorudniak in what may be his last world championship. Ivan Denev of Bulgaria, 23rd at the World Championships a year ago, 11th at the recent Olympics, so he's a skater on the move.
Here you see his triple axel, double toe. He goes in with so much speed. He gets great height, but he was a little crooked in the air and couldn't pull off the triple on the second jump. Here we see a close-up of his feet. Great triple axel. He's leaning outside. If you could see that the edge was on the inside edge, and he had to pull it into a double toe.
For Ivan Denev for
cat-like in the first part of his program, but very much so. It slowed down considerably.
4.850.
Now the marks for required elements. The first set, 4.6 up to 5.1.
And 4.9.
And for presentation, 4.7 up to 5.3. So Ivan Denev of Bulgaria in third place right now behind Steven Cousins. Blashenko still leads.
4.7, 5.3, and 4.7. Welcome now, Vyacheslav Zagorudniak.
It's a chance for redemption and maybe a last chance for Vyacheslav Zagorudniak, 25 years of age, the four-time national champion of Ukraine. He was the junior world champion all the way back in 1989, so he's been on the scene for a while. But he went from 4th at Worlds a year ago to 10th at this year's Olympics.
And we've said this before, this guy has a lot of talent, but has never really tapped into the performance aspect of it and gotten it together in competition so that he can perform well.
In other words, he can sometimes be dull.
Yes, that's true, he can.
Look at this combination. Now, you see, the first part was magnificent.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And then he didn't pull off the triple toe part, just doing a double toe.
But like we said before, it's better than a total miss.
That's right. But it's not something that's going to win you this championship.
Absolutely not. A little bit of 2 feet on that landing of the triplets. Not going to help him either.
I think even worse than that was the bent over back.
Yeah.
It's odd because this has been his worst year.
That's a wonderful position he did right there. We can criticize on other things, but when he does something right, it's terrific. And that position and that spin was marvelous.
And you are always one to point out the positive. But I was going to say, it's interesting, Dick, from Ukraine, Vyacheslav Zagorudniak in the last year moved to the United States, as many skaters do. And this has been his worst year yet. Usually, with conditions, training conditions, and everything else, it improves.
Go figure.
I think he needs a new inspiration. And this world of competition is not doing it for him. good backspin. The traveling center just moved across the ice. You know, he's an excellent skater.
Yeah, he is.
Great.
He is.
He just doesn't sparkle with personality and enthusiasm.
He doesn't come into his own during competition.
You saw Ogol Mudrak, his wife and choreographer, a moment ago. Vyacheslav Zagornyk of Ukraine. His short program will have his marks in a moment. Welcome back to the Target Center. The men's short program continues. Vyacheslav Zagornyk of Ukraine, the 25-year-old, awaiting his scores from the judges.
Here's the replay of his triplettes. As you see, pole vaults, he starts leaning forward right here, and he has to 2-foot the landing.
Elements. 5-2, 5-6, 5-5, 5-6.
Now the first set of marks for required elements, 5.0 to 5.6, pretty wide range.
5-2. And his marks for presentation.
Presentation mark was very high. And that puts him in first place over Vlashenko and Cousins.
5.2 to 5.7. The presentation marks, and as you said, Vyacheslav Zagornyk has now taken the lead over Andrei Vlashenko and Stephen Cousins of Great Britain in third place. So the World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard continue with the men's short program here at the Target Center. Remember, champions being crowned tomorrow night beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern time with the men's free skate. You can catch that live on ABC Sports. Now the next group has taken the ice. In their warm-up, it includes Yevgeny Plushenko, only 15 years of age, but he's already made his mark. He was second at the European Championships this year. The junior world champion, a last-minute replacement for the injured Ilya Kulik. And also his countryman, Alexei Yagudin, 18 years old. He won the junior world title in '96 and a bronze medal at his first world championship a year ago. Kulik not here, nor is Elvis Stoiko of Canada. One of the gutsiest performances ever at the Olympic Games with a seriously injured groin. Following the Olympics, Elvis made the decision that he would not be able to skate at the Worlds up to his best ability. We caught up with him when he announced that decision 2 weeks ago at a press conference. Leslie Visser has more on the Canadian King.
It's not a matter of going out to protect the world championship or defend something. It's a matter of being able to compete at your best and do your best when you're healthy. And I can't do that right now.
The world now knows of Elvis's groin injury, but going into Nagano, Elvis chose to keep it a well-guarded secret.
I didn't need everybody asking me every single day, how's the leg, how you feeling, how's the leg, how you feeling? I didn't need that. I needed my space to concentrate, and I didn't want to make the excuse at the beginning as a way out, yeah, I have an injury.
The day before the short program, Elvis re-aggravated his groin injury. In terrible pain, he skated clean and got through it. His secret was still safe, but conquering the long program would be another story.
I had to come to grips with the fact that I was going to go through 4.5 minutes. That's going to be the toughest I've ever been in. I had to be more focused than I ever had been before because I was taking myself to a limit that I've never been to before.
For his mother, just watching was agony.
You cannot explain that feeling. It's just your stomach, your heart, everything is together in your throat.
You can't live that magical moment because you're totally tight. Everything is stressed. You're not free. You can't be. And that was it. The body went, that's all, folks. We have nothing left. There was many people involved in helping me, but I think overall what got me through this was me. I dealt with what I had, not with what I should have had, and worried about, well, I had an injury, and this wasn't fair, and it wasn't fair because of this, and this wasn't fair. Life isn't so much that it's fair. It teaches you what you need to know and teaches you what you need to have to move on to the next level.
And what is the next level for Elvis Stoiko? Will he turn pro or stay amateur?
I'd have to wait a few more months and get myself healthy. Then when I have looked at the whole picture, then I'll decide exactly what I want to do. But not until then, not till everything is clear.
No matter what the future holds, it's been an amazing career for Elvis Stojko. More of the men's short program, including one of the young guns from Russia, Yevgeny Plushenko, when we come back to the Target Center.
Representing Russia, a warm welcome, please, for Evgeny Plushenko.
He raised a lot of eyebrows as the junior world champion in '97, then a second-place finish at this year's European Championships. And 15-year-old Yevgeny Plushenko of Russia has a realistic chance at gaining a medal here at his first World Championship.
Now, the music he's going to skate to is Paso Doble, and that accounts for the costume.
And I think the best way to describe this guy's skating is effortless. His jumps are completely effortless.
His two-jump combination coming up right here. Triple axel, triple toe loop.
I think we might have seen a little bit of a two-foot landing on that triple axel, but we'll see.
But it wasn't up to his usual ability.
No, it was not.
He's older now than he was just a few days ago. There's a little more experience.
Struggle at that age.
Jump. Not quite as smooth and clean a landing as we've seen. I mean, awfully good.
Yes.
But just the slightest impure edge.
But he usually has these great soft knees. When he lands, they act as the softest shock absorbers, and it's beautiful to watch.
But not today.
Not that jump, certainly.
One of the things to note about his skating is his extreme suppleness. His body very loose. That very elegant and very quiet. Straight line footwork. Good, fast movement there. Now look at this final combination and the stretch that he gains here. Shades of Denise Bielman.
Ouch. You know, I think that he's probably going to be a little disappointed with this performance, but he's got a great future ahead.
Well, the crowd's not disappointed with this performance.
He certainly worked it. He's very mature for such a young skater.
But this was not up to the performance he gave in the qualifying round, in which he defeated Yagudin, which was a very interesting point.
He grew up in the southeastern Russian city of Volgograd. Family with very little money. The only rink in Volgograd closed when he was 11, hence the move to St. Petersburg, and he began working with Alexei Mishin, the famed coach. Certainly a huge force in Yevgeny's life to this point.
You see his triple axel here. He doesn't get as much height as he usually does, so he can't quite make the rotation. You saw that 2-foot landing, but he still is able to pull off that beautiful triple toe at the end.
But look at this triple Lutz, the outside edge, the stretch, the reach back. Good tight legs, straight up, but the landing, if you noticed, had a jerky edge quality, and that was the problem.
When Ilya Kulik, the Olympic champion, withdrew a couple of days before these World Championships. Yevgeny Plushenko just happened to be here and to have been training.
5-6.
What does that tell you?
And now after his short program, the first set of marks for required elements, 5.3 to 5.7.
But there's plenty of room between those 5.5s and 1.53 and a 6. So there's plenty of room left open for others yet.
And the presentation marks in the 5.5 up to 5.8 range. And Yevgeny Plushenko takes the lead over Vyacheslav Zagorudnik and Andrei Vlashenko, with Yagudin to stay next.
Representing Germany, please welcome our next.
Welcome back to the World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard. Here's how the standings look in the men's short program. 15-year-old Yevgeny Plushenko in the lead over Vyacheslav Zagorudnik and Andrei Vlashenko at this point. Well, 18-year-old Alexei Yagudin of Russia making his way out onto the ice at a 102-degree temperature at the Olympic Games, still had a top 5 finish. You'd think he would have taken a lot of pride in the outcome in Nagano.
No, I'm not so proud of this. But when I came home, I was like Olympic champion, because everybody said that, oh, Alexei, you did hard work and you skated. It's very good. But after the free program, I was feeling like I lost everything in my life.
Representing Russia, here is Alexei Yagudin.
He demands so much of himself, and you're not going to find a more confident 18-year-old athlete in any sport than Alexei Yagudin of Russia. Won a bronze medal at Worlds a year ago, trying to do that at least 1 or 2 better. And you'd have to say that he and Todd Eldridge are the 2 co-favorites heading into this men's competition.
And really, he relies a lot on his strength and quickness versus technique in his jumping. A lot of times he'll be crooked in the air and he'll be able to save it because he is so strong and so quick.
This is 2-jump combination. Triple axel, triple toe loop. Oh, that first one just flew.
It was huge.
It was airborne in the air. Total, absolute control. That was brilliant. This is triple left jump.
That was that's a perfect example.
The toe edge there just clicked right out.
Still, he was able to pull that off well.
Absolutely. Good back speed. I must say the emotion he brings to this is far improved over what it was even a few months ago.
Well, he's got to be happy with that. I think he's a great example of a good all-around skater.
I think without any doubt about it, that's been one of his better performances. Far better than what he did in the qualifying round, and infinitely better than what he did at Nagano.
Ilya Kulik, the Olympic champion, may not be here, but nobody's forgetting about the Russians. Alexei Yagudin with no doubt the best performance so far in the short program. We talked to him this week, and there's such an air of confidence around him. He's only 18 years old. Alexei Yagudin awaiting his marks.
Well, look at the security here. Watch the height, the leg. It passes through and steps up into it. Such height, it's opening up before it comes anywhere to the near landing.
The judges' marks for Alexei Yagudin for required
look at that,
elements.
right there, just so beautiful. And this one, maybe just a little bit leaning, but otherwise absolutely perfect and brilliant.
Watch this triple Lutz. Usually this toe stays on the ice for about 3 inches. That traveled at least 10, and it was lucky that he was able to save that.
First set of marks, 5.6 to 5.8, and those by far the best that we have seen. And the second set for presentation, 5.5 to 5.8. You've got a new leader, Alexei Yagudin, over fellow Russian Yevgeny Plushenko at this point. Yagudin's will be a hard act to follow. That is up to Laurent Tobel of France. And the first thing you notice about him is how tall he is. He could be a shooting guard in the NBA. We asked him how it affects what he does and how he's perceived on the ice.
I'm 6'4", and yeah, it's very hard in technique because my position during the jump must be really perfect, and if I miss the beginning, everything is over. But in artistic, it's I think it's a good effect. It's because I'm very tall, and when I do some moves, everybody can see me, and that is good for them.
Above all, Laurent Tobel is an entertainer. We saw him last year at the World Championships when he finished 13th, and he is different.
And interestingly enough, I didn't see Tobel do a triple axel in this warm-up beforehand, and this is the combination that's coming up. And it's the one that he had trouble on in the qualifying rounds just a couple days ago.
But look at the movement of his head. Well, here it comes. You'll find out.
Now, he mentioned in the interview the fact that he does have trouble because he is 6'4". How much of a factor, Brian, do you think that would be?
I think it's a huge factor. You know, just watching that jump there, it was hard for him to be quick enough to get into the rotation soon enough so that he can land it.
The problem was he didn't take off right. The whole conclusion of any jump is based in the takeoff.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you, no matter what he does jump-wise, I just really like watching him skate.
He makes you forget about the mistakes that he's made.
Of course. Nice triple Lutz. You see, even there, he was over-rotated going into the double axel, and that's somewhat what happened on his triple axel. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. The music, by the way, is The Art of Noise and Herbie Hancock. This circular step.
To watch the crowd, it's the most interesting thing when he's on the ice, because if they don't know about him, their reaction is so funny to watch.
He does it with such a straight face. You don't know if he's trying to be funny or if people will laugh anyway.
Wonderful. Just first rate. And you know, there should be a place in skating to reward what he does give to the sport instead of being totally out of it because another skater can do a great triple jump and can't do anything else.
It almost doesn't even matter to talk about placements and where he finished here or there, at least in the opinion of all the people in the target center here. Laurent Telbel from France. We will have his marks when we return. Laurent Telbel waves to the crowd on the big screen above. They just played some of his footwork, and the crowd again reacting.
Here you can see his triple axel. The problem is he hesitates getting into the rotation. He can't quite make it around. He leans to the right and he goes down.
He does make up for it, though.
But look at these steps. Now look at the isolation, the precise control of each part of his body. This is not just put on. This is very carefully choreographed and worked on, and very difficult. He is a good dancer. He knows how to isolate his movements.
Telbel, one of the reasons he's here, of course, Philippe Candeloro of France, who skated to the Olympics and was the bronze medalist, decided that he had nothing left to prove and will skate as an ineligible skater from now on.
Well, he has a big sense of humor about himself, and that's what makes him so appealing.
For Laurent Telbel for required elements.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
Yes.
4-6, 4-9.
First set of marks for Laurent Telbel.
4-6.
I'm not sure that those are not a little bit low, but I mean, he did miss one combination with the required deduction.
5-2, 5-4.
But these marks, for example, I would certainly say should have been infinitely better. I mean, I would have, because it was original choreography, great style, great presentation.
And Telbel now in 9th place overall here in the short program. Well, here's the two-time Japanese national champion. In fact, he became the youngest ever to do that at the age of 14 in 1996. Had immense pressure on him because the Olympics this year obviously were in Japan. He finished 15th in Nagano. Takeshi Honda, 17 years old.
The music. 2-minute warning by Ernie Albert. He has a wonderful lightness. The first jump, very good, very straight.
Save that second
one, right on an angle. He's very fleet, has good speed. He seems in those last two jumps to have been leaning out of the circle, and that can be disaster. Nicely centered spin. That means the turns are all in one spot. And the spin doesn't travel over the ice. Now watch the blade on the ice and see how it moves. Right there, it's staying in one spot. Light quality to his skating. There's nothing heavy about those steps or those turns.
You know, what I really like about him is you can tell that he really cares about his skating. He gets excited when he skates well, and he feels bad when he skates poorly, and it just comes through in his skating.
Final element, a combination spin. Now that did not sit well, that camel part. See, again, he's moving over the ice. The spin is so-called traveling, but nice speed on it.
I like that.
Yes.
That was nice.
He's a good overall skater.
Yeah.
Very fast, very athletic, very crisp.
Refreshing.
But he can't make mistakes like he did on those two leaning jumps.
17 years old, from Japan. He now lives and trains in Simsbury, Connecticut. Takeshi Honda, who was a 10th place finisher last year at the World Championships, trying to improve on that.
And a 15th place winner at the Olympics. Now that means unless he can pull up and correct and really solidify these difficult triple jumps, he'll never make it up higher than that. But he has the talent to. And look at this, wonderful height right there. Great, but now as he steps into this turn, you could see he was over-rotated before he went into it and wasn't able to truly control it. And this combination spin, first, you know, nice position, but the foot is not well centered on the ice, and that kind of disrupted the spin. That position, not too bad, particularly as he goes into this form of it. But you notice the spin is moving slightly over the ice, and here again it's moving even further and as he goes into the back spin. Nice pull right there.
The judges' marks for Takeshi Honda for required
Twice
elements.
he has won the Japanese title. Did not skate at that event this year because of an injured ankle, and he told us this week it's still bothering him a bit. First set of marks for Takeshi Honda.
4-8
and those are quite low technical marks, don't you think, Brian?
For presentation.
Yeah, actually, you know what? They had to take the deduction for the miss on the jump, so that's the 3/10 deduction that you see in the 4-7.
5-2 and
even the performance marks are not that high.
And the marks for presentation, that puts him in 6th place right now. So as it stands right now, there are 2 Russians atop the leaderboard here in the men's short program. Yagudin and Plushenko ahead of Zagorudnik. Plushenko, Cousins, and Takeshi Honda round out the top 6. Remember, Alexei Yagudin still in the lead, but up next on the ice, Todd Eldridge, when we return for the men's short program for the 1998 World Figure Skating Championships presented by MasterCard. Well, the Olympic experience in Nagano had to be a devastating one for Todd Eldridge. One of the favorites going in, he ended up 4th. His confidence wasn't destroyed, but he's very realistic about where it is right now.
I would say that if we look at certain competitions, if you look back at 96 Worlds, my confidence was probably a 10 on a 10 scale. I would say now it's maybe an 8, and at Olympics it may be a 5. So it has improved, you know, a lot in the last 3 weeks. You know, and hopefully over the next few months or so, it'll keep improving and getting much better.
Well, there's one thing we have learned about Todd Eldridge through the years. You never down his mental toughness or his perseverance. Time after time, he's come back from low points in his career. Maybe this is one of them. It was not a good experience in Nagano.
But even though he's had some not good experiences, the thing I really like about Todd, even in this warm-up, he's measured and sure, and as an audience member, you feel secure because you think he's in control, and he is in control usually.
And you also know he's hungry. In the qualifying rounds, he was so anxious, he jumped the gun, came back, and then went out and gave a performance that got him a standing ovation. You could see the lean out of the circle right at the start of that.
That is the first time I think I may have ever seen Todd Eldridge miss that combination.
Well, the one he did at the Olympics was not his best either. I think he's so over-anxious here that may have caused the tension on that move. Nice triple Lutz, though.
All week week he has told us he wishes Ilya Kulik was here. He wishes Elvis Stojko was here. Of course, Candeloro, the bronze medalist from Nagano, not here either. But he said he's just got to go out there and skate, but the preparation has to be different.
But look at the quality of this change sit spin. Really one of the best in the entire competition.
I believe that he wishes Ilya Kulik were here because anyone who's good pushes you to be better.
Are really extraordinary. Final move, a combination spin. First a camel, sit spin, cross, back spin. Now watch the cannonball position and the back spin. Watch him pull this. Look at that. Well, I guess the question comes down as to how much a deduction they take for the mistake in the two-jump combination at the beginning.
It's become a routine with him. Again, within the body of this short program, there are his parents, John and Ruth. He had to come back, as he has done so many times in his career. His only goal to finish in the top 3 and have a chance to win the free skate. Todd Eldridge with his coach, Richard Callahan, after a short program that did not start out well, but he brought it back through the rest of the program.
On the triple axel, his left shoulder was a little lower on the takeoff than usual, and it made him lean out. See that lean on the outside, and he just couldn't control it. He had the 3-turn in between and could only pull off a double. That's going to be a 3/10 deduction.
Marks for Todd Eldridge.
But look at this combination spin. Now watch the turns of the skate right in the ice. See how the circles are one on top of the other. When they start to travel a little bit, it's not so good. But he has such control of it that it's really first-rate. Cannonball position. And now a back spin. A wonderful spinner.
First set of marks, 5.0 to 5.6. Remember, his goal is to be in the top 3 after the short program. Because if you're there and you win the free skate, you're the overall winner. And the presentation marks, and those are good enough to put him in 3rd place at this point, right behind Yagudin and Plishenko of Russia. Here's 23-year-old Yevgeny Pliuta of Ukraine. Finished 12th. Last 2 years at the European Championships. In the same country, obviously, that produced Oksana Bayul and Viktor Petrenko, Olympic champions.
Difficulty with that during the various practices. Another beauty. Beautiful, yeah. Yeah. relatively good. Could have been a lower position on the second part. But one thing about his skating is you know he's listening to the music.
Very musical. Now he's going to kill himself for that because that's the easiest element that he has in the entire program.
But we've seen that happen many and many a time. At least I think he completed it more or less. And how much of a deduction that'll be, I don't think it'll be a full 4/10.
No, it won't.
A very complete performance,
Yeah, that was
all
nice.
the way around. Musical, stylish, elegant, good jumps, good spins, one mistake or one half mistake.
But you know he's already 23, Dick, so I'm just kidding. He has a great future.
Well, you mean my emphasis on youth tonight?
No, because everybody's been, no, not your emphasis, but it's been a night of youth.
Now, look at this wonderfully straight entrance into this jump right there. Good revolution, good straight position. Landing was a little bit bent over, but that's nitpicking, and a double toe flip, toe loop right at the end.
In the double axel, he leaned out a little bit, didn't quite complete the rotation and check in his arms, and he just let it loose.
Well, the other American, Michael Weiss, certainly has a chance to move into that top three. Weiss was second to Eldridge at the U.S. Nationals this season, and prior to that event, he had a discussion with his wife, Lisa, about whether he would want to be told critical news prior to a big event. He should have been suspicious. Lisa had something specific on her mind.
If something important happens, the competition, you know, I can deal with that, but, you know, obviously tell me. And so she told me that she was pregnant, and now I had new inspiration to skate well at Nationals. So it was really exciting for me. And especially what was really special was when I received my medal at the National Championships, I took my niece and I carried her around, and she was about 3 months old at the time, and I carried her around the ice and, you know, like kind of waved and things like that. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, wow, this is the exact age that my baby's going to be next year. And so that was special for me.
Representing the United States, Michael Weiss.
So exciting news for Michael Weiss away from the ice. He'd like to create some excitement here on it in Minneapolis. It was a hip pointer that he suffered in practice before the Olympics. As you look at his wife, Lisa, she's also been one of his choreographers, but the hip pointer, and he re-injured actually the other hip, favoring that injury at the Olympics. He finished 7th in Nagano.
And he's got to be thinking of his performance in the short program in Nagano. The second element that's coming up tonight is what he missed in that program, a disastrous fall, and it kept him from being a little bit higher in the placements. This opening triple Lutz is so easy for Michael. It's really a warm-up for him. Beautiful.
The music flamenco by Jesse Cook. One of the things he does do is keep the character of the dance going throughout the program. But here is the moment of truth. Did you notice how he skidded off that edge? That was very dangerous. He completed it just fine. But boy, was that a skid. Look at the snow on the ice. Camel spin combination. Good spin.
jump you won't see in the short program that we expect from Michael Weiss in the free skate, the quadruple jump, but he won't be the first American to pull it off if he does.
Yeah, Michael is always really great at getting the crowd with him. For even such a young man, he's very mature at being able to present himself on the ice. And I think that that's where he's separated from the other younger guys.
Back to the quad, an even younger man, Timothy Gable, recently pulled off the quad, the first American to do so at an ISU Junior Series final in Lausanne, Switzerland.
Nice height on that death drop into a back sit spin. Good program. That was one of the nicer programs that I've seen him do. None of the problems of what happened to him in Nagano.
His dad, Greg, watching on. He was an Olympic gymnast. His wife, Lisa, got to be pleased. Todd Eldridge had the mistake early in his program. He came back to skate a strong one after that. But Michael Weiss did not have a mistake of that size. We'll wait and see if he can get into the top three. Currently, Eldridge is in that third spot. Weiss's marks when we return. Back in Minneapolis, Michael Weiss, his wife Lisa, and his longtime coach Audrey Weisiger awaiting what should be very high marks.
The triple axel takes off of a forward edge, but if you watch his left foot, it sort of slips, and he has trouble rotating. It's a little forward, and he can't get a triple off for the second jump. Here's a close-up of that. Watch that left foot. Right when he takes off here, it sort of slips. He kind of goes off backwards, and that's where the trouble is.
5-4.
He actually made a turn, or a half a turn on the ice.
5-5.
Now the first set for required elements.
5-2. 5-3.
5.2 up to 5.7 the range.
For presentation. 5-4.
And now for presentation.
5-6. 5-6.
And those are good enough to put Weiss ahead of Todd Eldridge into third place. Remember, if you're in the top three and you win the free skate, you're the overall champion. So now Eldridge doesn't control his own destiny. The standings after the short program. The Cold War is over. You couldn't tell by looking at these. Two Russians atop the leaderboard, Yagudin and Plushenko, the 15-year-old. Then two Americans, Michael Weiss in third place. Those three control their own destinies. And then Todd Eldridge will have to have some help in the free skate, which you can see, of course, tomorrow night on ABC Sports, our live coverage beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Maybe the three medalists from Nagano aren't here, but the competition has been terrific to this point. Much more of that to come tomorrow on ABC. Right now, we check in backstage with Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Terry, he was 7th in the world's last year, now in medal contention. Congratulations so far, Michael. What went well out there tonight?
Basically, you know, I was here in the United States, in Minneapolis. You know, as soon as you step out on the ice, all of a sudden everybody's behind you. And a lot of times in the short program, that's what you need. You know, you need the crowd to get behind you. And that's what happened today. You know, at the end of the program, when I finished, I had everybody behind me. And, you know, the judges and everybody, I guess, got caught up in the moment. It was a great feeling for me.
Do you think this is a turning point for you, being in the top three in the world?
I think it's a big step. I mean, it's always been so competitive in the men's ranks right now. I always felt like I could be right up in there if I put together two solid programs. And, you know, right now being in this position, you know, the long program has always been my strength. And, you know, I'm just going to go out there and go for it now.
What about the recent news of Tim Gable landing the quad? Is that a little bittersweet for you? I think America was expecting you to be the first.
It doesn't really matter. I never really went after it to be the first American to do it. I basically wanted it in my program to get the technical mark. And, you know, at Nationals the last 2 years in a row, I got the 5.9s and the technical mark that I needed. And so it served its purpose. But right now, you know, I think the judges are really looking for a solid, well-balanced program. And if that means the quad and 8 other triples, you know, you have to balance that with the rest of the program. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it. Thanks, Michael. Back to you, Terry.
Well, Leslie, a different emotion for Todd Eldridge in fourth place, mainly because of this slip on the opening combination. An unlikely slip for Eldridge in the short program, and now he needs help. Someone must beat Yagudin in the free skate. Eldridge must win it. Todd now standing by with Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Terry, his goal was to be in the top three after the short program. And Todd, what happened and what has to happen?
Need a lot of help. No, I wasn't really nervous, you know, when I went out to skate, and I yeah, I just went up for the triple axel and came around the corner a little bit too much and pulled a little too hard and actually over-rotated it. So that was something that didn't happen right for me. The rest of the program was okay. You know, at this point, I need to go out and do a great long program and hope that some of the other guys don't.
Can you explain? I mean, you know your body can do it. What's happening in your mind?
You know, it's strange. I mean, today, most of the time I would say, oh, I was a little nervous. But, you know, like at Olympics, I was nervous. I was really nervous and skated clean there. But, you know, it's just one of those things. I just went out and maybe things, you know, needed to be a little tighter. You know, I guess when you feel loose, sometimes they get away from you. But, you know, I guess I'm just really, you know, I want to go out and I just at this point want to skate a great long and you know, finish you know, this World Championships on a good note.
Well, you've been down before, and we've certainly seen you come back. Thanks, Todd. Back to you, Terry.
And Leslie, we know not to count out Eldridge at this point, but Michael Weiss has the quad jump in his arsenal, and he's situated in 3rd place. So does young Yevgeny Plushenko, only 15 years of age, trying to medal in his first trip to the world. The men's free skate live on ABC Sports at 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow night. Can Alexei Yagudin win his first world championship? The NBA tonight is coming up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.